morning's Business Insight, we're talking about what a lot of people have been talking about this week, the Ohio primary and the impact of the primary results on business. The highlights: Gene Schmidt has represented the 2nd District for 8 years, but the incumbent was ousted by Brad Wenstrup, a podiatrist and Iraq War veteran who made an unsuccessful run for Cincinnati mayor 3 years ago. Also, Mitt Romney takes Ohio in his quest to be the Republican nominee for president, but it was a very slim margin. Joining us this morning is Mac Mariani, a political science professor at Xavier University, for some insight. Mac, were you surprised by the results of these two big races?
Well, I think particularly the Gene Schmidt race was an upset. It was completely unexpected. Everyone was caught flat-footed, particularly Gene Schmidt. I think it was an absolute shock.
What do you think happened? Why did they turn away from Schmidt toward Wenstrup?
Well, I think one of the things you're seeing is that the electorate is very volatile. They are upset about the economy. People are not happy with the direction of the country, and I think all incumbents really have to be kind of on watch. And I think that Gene Schmidt probably should have taken that race more seriously than she did. I think the expectation was that she would win by double digits, and obviously that didn't happen.
Now, this is a conservative Republican district, and in fact, Brad Wenstrup talked with Local 12 about what he sees as the big issues in this election.
There's so many issues right now that are important, but I want to lend my expertise to healthcare and to military and to business, and those are three big topics right now.
So, Mac, he mentions business here. What kind of impact does a race like that have on business here in Cincinnati?
Well, I think certainly replacing an incumbent congressman with a newcomer is going to have some impact in terms of there's going to be a transition cost there in terms of, the businesses have to deal with government all the time these days. I mean, you have a lot of grants, you have tax credits, you have all sorts of different regulations that you have to deal with. So there's going to be a time when Brad Wenstrup's going to have to learn how to deal with those issues as a congressman. He's going to have to staff up. They're going to have to learn some things. So there is going to be a transition period for the new congressman if he wins the election. Well, no matter, we're going to get a new one either way. So whichever that is, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat, they're going to have to deal with that transition, and business is going to look to that congressperson as an ombuds to help them deal with health care, to help them deal with new regulations that are coming down the pike, both in terms of policy and also in terms of just kind of dealing with them on an everyday level.
And Mac, did you expect the race between Mitt Romney and Rick Santorum to be as close as it turned out?
Well, if you looked at this race 2 weeks ago, Santorum was, all the polls had Santorum up by double digits, 13 points, 18 points. And one of the things that Romney did very effectively is he was trying to focus in on economic issues, which I think are really at the core of what Ohio voters are worried about.
Yeah, Romney here seen with Rob Portman on a recent visit to Cincinnati.
Yeah, the Santorum, I think, got caught up in a lot of social issues, which certainly helped him in the Republican primary in certain respects. But I think ultimately Ohio voters, when they took a close look at the two, thought that Romney was a more competent candidate when it came to dealing with the problems that they're facing in the day-to-day economic life.
Ohio's always a key state here. Does it look like Romney wrapped it up by winning Ohio?
Well, no, this is going to drag out for a while. The next month actually is going to be in Santorum-friendly territory. We got Alabama, Mississippi, Missouri, and some other places where social conservatism is more prominent, and I think he's going to do well. And Romney will ultimately be the nominee because I think he has the only true path to the nomination. But it's going to be a long and difficult road.
We have a lot of time to talk about it. Mac Mariani, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.